Hey, it's Matt. We're back working on the 1975 Firebird formula, and in this video we're gonna help a viewer out. And he came across a common problem that most of us who buy project cars come across, and that is that when you get the car, it's in pieces and it's like a giant puzzle, and you don't really know how it goes back together, especially if all your parts are in bags that aren't labeled. You don't know what's what and what goes where. So his question was that he got his vehicle and the headlight assembly wasn't in there, and he doesn't have any of the pieces for it. So I'm gonna go and do a detailed video here on all of the components and pieces that you need to get your headlight in case you got a project car and it didn't come with any of those parts. So let's take a look at what we have here. I have everything disassembled here already. If you want to see the video on how to adapt some LED headlights into this car, check out my other video. That'll show you the assembly of all of this. So right now I'm just going to show you kind of the pieces that I didn't in the earlier video, get up close to them and show you some details on this, because a lot of people don't, when they take their videos, they don't get really up close in there, and that's what I'm here for. I like to pay it forward. There's lots of videos that I watch on YouTube, and they've helped me out a lot. So I'm going to try to help you guys out. If you have any questions, if you want me to show you any videos of anything up close, if maybe there aren't any videos out there, just to get some of the main stuff here and the details. So let's take a look at this header panel here and see everything that you need. So let's say you got this car and none of this stuff was in here. Well, you don't know what to buy. You don't know how many adjusters there are. You don't know how many springs there are. It's all apart, and you got parts and bags, and you might not even have these pieces and parts. So let's see how many of what we need and what you'd have to order to get this thing to accept some headlights. So what we have here are your adjusters, and this is just a plastic piece that is riveted in here, and it has a screw in it, and the screw has a groove in it, and these are your adjusters for aiming your headlights. And there are two of these on this particular car. I think most of them just have two. One's an up and down, and then this would be your left, right. And so you need these if you don't have them in there. One on the outside of the car, and then one on the top. And then the other thing that holds your headlight bucket in is a spring down here. And that spring just fits into this groove back here. You can see the end of it. I'll move it around a little bit. You can see it moving around. So you also need this spring, and I believe they have a kit, a headlight adjuster kit that comes with this spring in both of these. Maybe Firebird Central has them. So you can order this stuff, you can get it if you don't have it, but sometimes it gets a little confusing if you've never seen it before, you've never had it. It's all taken apart. So gotta have those three items to get your bucket in there. Another thing you need are these nut clips, is what I call them. I don't know, what do you guys call them? Put something down there in the comment. Little nut clip here, and these hold the headlight bezel in, this piece right there. So it's good to have both of those in there, your adjusters and your spring in there, and then you're ready to go. Now let's see what goes in there and how it goes in there, how it holds this bucket into place. This will be the next item that you have to install in there. Once you get this bucket in there, then you can put your headlight in there, and then you can put your trim ring on, and then your bezel. So this is all of the components that you need to have a working, functioning headlight, and for it to not fall out. So try to do this one-handed. We're going to put this bucket in there. I'll show you how it goes up close. So on that top adjuster there's a groove, and this bucket has a slot there and a slot there, and notice that this one's on an angle. It's not straight up and down. The straight up and down one goes on the top, and the angle one goes on the left to right. And if you notice, this bucket has one on the other side. Well, this is universal for left and right, so this one would go on the driver's side, this one on the passenger side here. So what we need to do is line that groove up into that slot on that screw on the adjuster. So it just slides right up in there. And if you're working on a really nice car that's all painted, you're probably going to want to put some masking tape in here, because this is going to hit there. You got the vice grips down here, and I like to put those vice grips on there before I put this on, because you can't see that spring when this bucket is in there. So I like to clip them on there and just leave them hang there. It's easier to do with some needle nose vice grips, so if you have a pair of needle nose, use those. A little bit easier, a little more room. These are a little bulky for this job, but I don't have mine with me, so. Alright, let's get this up in the groove in that adjuster, and then you're going to go over to the other adjuster, and what you're going to do is you're going to slide it over to the right and slide it up in there. So let's try that again with it in focus. You see it just pulls right out. And then you just line it up with the groove, slide it up in there, and then we're going to push this side over here all the way in and hope that it stays there. Now you can see this little groove right here. That's where the spring goes. So you're going to need to pull this spring out and put it on that groove, and that's going to hold this bucket back in its place. So let's see if I can do that left-handed with one hand. So pull it back. Ta-da! Cool. So there we go. And then you can take these vice grips off, put your headlight in, put your trim ring in, put your bezel in. Check out my previous video. I show that, not in great detail, but gives you a general idea. It's putting screws in. So these are the screws that hold the bezel in. I think these are the proper screws for this. They're just a button head, tapered button head, so it's not flat on the top. It's got a little bit of a curvature to it. And these are like polished or stainless or something. They're kind of junky, but. And then 3 screws to hold your trim ring on. And this trim ring, it's got a seam on the bottom there, and I like to put that on the bottom. You know, you can really twist this any way you want on there, but it bolts on to 3 holes on your headlight bucket, and that's what holds the headlight in place. So 3 screws for that. I think the only screw that is proper for this is this one, but again, I'm not so sure. But again, this didn't come with these screws. This whole front end was all disassembled when I got this car. So again, I had screws laying around that I didn't know what they went to. All of these parts were in the trunk. Luckily, my adjusters were in there, my spring was in there, the bucket was in there. But you know, this whole header panel, everything was off of here. So I had to put it together just guessing what went where. So hopefully this helped you guys out. And if you have any other questions, if you want me to show you anything else on this car, get any more details on something, obviously I'm not going to pull the engine out to show you how the engine mounts bolt onto the subframe or anything like that. But you know, if it's something that maybe your car is, you know, 100 miles away in storage and you just want to check something out because you have an idea on doing something and you just want a close-up video of, you know, what a turn signal looks like on a 75 Firebird, or where the bezel goes, you know, stuff like that. So hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe. There will be more. Thanks. Bye.